So unless you work, because you can decide, you can also at the societal level, you can put a pressure on the society and kill any work that can help the society to generate life from it. And this is what happened for all our mullah or our scholar today or our fuqaha. They are really working at the dasaha level, I will say. Because you can see a whole society reached that lane, but they try to keep the lane, to make it longer. Instead, the work go in direction to have that piercing stars, to have that new way to bring back the day, to bring back that star, to create that environment where that light will be reflected. You would be tajalli, so humanity can continue their journey. They just keeping and making the layl longer. And this is what the challenge here, layl nahar is continuous. There is 24 hours in balanced way, if you like. There is continuity. But at the human being level, because there is now al, it's not going to happen by itself. It remains a challenge. We have to work for that al. We have to work to make that things happen again. When we have the sign, we can measure the degree of layl. But also an-nahar, and we can measure its degree, it can remind us that a layl is coming. So you need to prepare that new generation that have that energy of piercing stars. So the society will continue moving. This is really how I try to apply this idea of balance and to have these meetings.
As you have heard from Brother Naji, that there is a very important distinction from the structure of this surah between the human being or the human self and the other creatures and elements of this universe. Whether you are talking about heaven and earth, the sun or the moon, the day or the night, okay, they have been defined from the time they were created, and they were given the direction that they have been following since the time of their inception. But when it comes to the human self, we'll see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given it a dual nature. This potential, this capability of choosing, okay, between major two pathways. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. It has been given this potential of going in the direction of taqwa, okay, being conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His instructions, or going in the direction of rejection and denial and basically going astray from the path, okay, that will please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is a major distinction between the human self that is capable of going very high and closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but at the same time is capable of revolting and really going in the opposite direction, away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is really the challenge that Naji was really talking about, that to maintain the balance and the harmony that we see in that universe remains a challenge when it comes to the human nature.
So keeping everything in an equilibrium.
But it is a challenge. It is not given. It's not like we are given the potential. We are given the direction. We are given the guidance in order to maintain that. But the moon, the sun, I mean, they are doing it in the most balanced way. So the whole universe is always moving in the direction of balance and equilibrium. But for us, it remains always a conscious, if you like, decision. And this is one of the important really characteristics of the human self, that first of all it is irreducible. You cannot talk about anybody, no matter what they do, that they are less than a nafs. It is remain a nafs, no matter. Ya ayyuhal insanu ma gharraka bi rabbikal kareem. Even when the human being is going totally astray from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressed him as a human being. So it is an irreducible entity, the human self. Second, it is subjective. So it is, you are responsible. You have this ability to make this conscious decision in what direction you really want to go. It is really in your hand. And last time we said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself said, although he is in control of all this existence, he said, when it comes to the human being, I am giving that human being the ability to initiate the change. I will not make that change. I will not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, I am not going to make that a change unless the human being initiate that change. You see, it's very, very important. So this consciousness, which is one of the highest level function of our brain. So that consciousness needs that brain that we know about it and all its functions in order to sustain that consciousness. You see what I mean? Like, and again, the connection between really the brain itself, because at the lower level, all these synapses and functions of the brain are really meant to sustain that and cause that higher level function or state or feature, which is really consciousness. So that human self also, we said, irreducible, subjective, rational, meaning that you are making a conscious decision all the time. You are making a choice. Aqil. You see, you cannot blame somebody who is not aqil. In fact, this is I am not aware of any religion that will really put that as a prerequisite. In order to make the shahada, you have to be aqil. You have to be a rational human being. If somebody is crazy, God forbid, we say that a person is not even accountable. So that human self is also rational and conscious. And by the way, I mean, this is very good for all of us, because what I have said, okay, has been accepted today by the most, if you like, modern or contemporary philosophers, that they believe today that there is an entity called the self. But this is very interesting, because now even if I talk to anybody, we are talking in the same language. You see what I mean? So I feel very comfortable if I say self, they know what I am talking about. If they self, I know what they are talking about. We are talking in the same wavelength. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ. Even the Prophet will need a language that the people around him will understand. Otherwise they cannot do their job. So I will see that our job is becoming easier from that standpoint, and that we are talking the same language even with the highest intellectual people in the world today. And they reached that conclusion by postulation. It becomes a postulate, because there is no way to prove it. there is no experiment that will tell you that there is an entity that is called the self.